Let's call this House to order. And we're going to recognize the Prime Minister in this policy debate for a 6-minute constructive on the resolution that this House would establish a national nutrition policy. Minna?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to thank my partner Michelle for building this case with me and opposition for being here today. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, meals and snacks at school contribute to overall dietary quality of children between 6 and 19 years. USDA's National School Lunch Program provides healthy food for more than 29 million children every school day. And the schools that participate in this program must meet the US dietary guidelines. Still, only 2% of American children eat a healthy diet. Therefore, meals at school must be a part of this problem. One reason for that is that many schools allow foods of minimal nutritional value or junk food on school campuses. And many children choose this junk food in addition to or rather than nutritious school meals. That is why this House would establish a national nutrition policy. Our definition for national nutrition policy is a government-proposed action to guarantee food that sustains health and growth in public and non-profit elementary and secondary schools that participate in National School Lunch Program. The criteria for this debate is that if our plan would improve children's diets on school campuses and consequently their health, then we should win this debate. I'll have the question now.
Can I please ask the government to restate the definition of national nutrition policy?
Sure. A government-proposed action to guarantee food that sustains health and growth in public and non-profit elementary and secondary schools that participate in National School Lunch Program. We see two harms in the status quo. First, over the 30% of American children ages 6 to 19 are overweight. Half of those children, that is 15%, are obese, according to American Obesity Association. The second harm is that while many children eat excess calories, they do not receive enough essential nutrients per day in order to live a healthy life. Inherency in the status quo is that children choose junk food in addition to or rather than nutritious school lunches, because children usually like junk food or because it's commonly accessible at schools to children. Now let's move on to our plan. For agency, the government thinks that US Department of Education and Department of Agriculture jointly would be appropriate. We have two mandates. Our first mandate is that the USDA should revise the junk food standards. Those standards were last time updated almost 30 years ago, so it's about time. Our second mandate is that by 2010, the Department of Education should establish new rules and regulations for the sale and availability of junk food on those school campuses that participate in the National School Lunch Program. At minimum, this would mean prohibiting the sale of junk food at schools during meal periods. Preferably, we would see that selling or distributing junk food at schools would be completely prohibited. For enforcing our plan, we suggest the Superintendent of Public Instruction with the help of necessary state agencies in each state. Our plan is unique because it requires no extra funding. The good food is already at schools, so we would not be taking it away. We would only remove the junk food from campuses to make the nutritious school food seem more appealing to the children. Our plan would solve the two harms I mentioned earlier, which were that the 30% of children are overweight and that they don't necessarily get enough nutrients in their diets. Because National School Lunch Program, it already feeds over half of the American children in public elementary or secondary schools. By updating those standards and restricting junk food selling at public schools, more children would eat nutritious school lunches and their weight would go down. They would also be more healthier because they eat more nutritious food. Our plan also have two advantages. First, when children learn good eating habits early, they are more likely to eat healthier foods when they're adults. Second advantage is that, of course, when adults with healthy eating habits feed their own children when the time comes, they would be more likely to give healthier foods to their own children. And thirdly, the Americans would become healthier as a consequence. In conclusion, the National School Lunch Program already feeds half of the school children in the United States. Still, only a fraction of those children, 2%, have a healthy diet. We see that a substantive reason to this paradox is the junk food on campuses. By eliminating it from schools, at least during meal times, and updating the junk food standards that were updated last time 30 years ago, would result in healthier children and later healthier adults who have healthier children, and America would become healthier. Therefore, this House would establish a national nutrition policy. Thank you.